Hi everyone, I'm Leo, and today I've got something extraordinary for you. A truly behind-the-scenes experience you won't find anywhere else. I'm taking you inside IK Multimedia's headquarters in Modena, Italy, where the magic happens. We'll be sitting down with IK co-founder Davide Barbi and the product manager of ToneX Marco Berardi for an in-depth conversation about profiling, modeling, and the future of guitar tone technology. Then we'll get an exclusive tour of the factory where ToneX is built from the ground up with Marco Bariali. And by the way, I even got my hand on a legendary Dumble amplifier. How often does it happen? I've added chapters throughout the video so you can jump to sections that interest you the most, but trust me, you'll want to watch the whole thing. There are gems of knowledge scattered throughout. Please don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, it's completely free and helps me create more exclusive content like this. Let's dive in. Hi guys, Leo here. We are here with one of the founders of IK Multimedia actually.
Right.
So can you introduce yourself a bit?
Thank you. My name is Davide Barbi and I am the CTO of IK Multimedia. We founded the company with Enrico back in '96.
What inspired the founding of IK Multimedia?
Well, I have to tell you that we didn't start doing this actually. We started working on multimedia presentation for the industry. So we were making video catalogs that, you know, they were the years of CD-ROMs. So we were working for catalogs basically, but both me and Enrico are very passionate about music and about music technology, especially that area. So yes, we were doing that, but we were always thinking, well, you know, we should move to something more related to music.
I see.
And that's why after a few months, we actually released the first sampling CD that we made, that was Haché. It was a sort of recycling loops, mixing together always seamlessly of Brazilian percussions. That was our first musical...
Brazilian percussion?
Brazilian percussions.
Interesting.
We had everything, congas, you know, surdo, and it was a pretty innovative product because it was automatically combining different percussions in a way that they were all sounding perfect. So whichever combination you would have created, the result was always musical.
And so after that, you decided to enter other segments of, or I would say...
Exactly. After that, we stopped working for the industrial catalogs, and we released Groovemaker, and then T-Rex, and then Sample Tank, Amplitude, and so we actually, yes, started working exclusively for the MI segment, MI and professional audio segment.
I see. I'm a bit curious because I always think why they started this technology in this year. So I think it's a kind of a merge between what the technology allows you to do and what the market requires.
It's a perfect mixture of those two aspects. Because if you think to what we did, for example, when we did Sample Tank, which was released, if I'm not wrong, in 2001. Now maybe I'm going wrong by 1 or 2 years, I don't know. 2001, 2002.
We forgive you. We forgive you.
Consider that at the time, Sample Tank was playing 16 channels of, let's say, a virtual rompler within the computer. But we had Pentium 3 machines at that time, 800 megahertz Pentium 3 machines. So it was barely possible to do that. Running 16 channels like you know, like a General MIDI rompler was really a breakthrough in the computer, totally without any hardware support, totally software. So yes, we have been driven by what technology was rapidly allowing people to do on an affordable computer,
of course,
together with what the market wanted, because they were interestingly going in parallel. So
yeah, I see. And about the market, what is your target market? Professional, hobbyist, beginner? And what strategy are you following for balancing professional grade products versus those for hobbyists and beginners?
I have to say that we don't divide. We don't have actually such a sharp classification of products.
I see.
We both me and Enrico started getting inspiration from companies that we love, like Roland, for example, or Yamaha.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the goal that we have is to bring instruments or audio tools that can make the life of professional or hobbyists easier, both ways. I mean, if I am an enthusiast, I play at home, and I want a sound that I cannot get some in another way, maybe IK does something that can help me in obtaining that. But that's not said that that processor is not useful in a world-class studio. We try to make stuff that sounds great, but it's not complicated to use, to be used. It's going to find the perfect place both in the professional studio and for beginners. And not only with software we do that with speakers, with pedals, with everything that we do. In fact, our products are found equally in various areas.
Yeah.
And now also with creators, of course, not only musicians. For example, we have discovered that many YouTubers just need to listen properly to what they are mixing.
Yeah.
And so they need studio monitors, but they need small studio monitors. Our micro monitor, it looks like a product for beginners maybe because it's very simple, but actually you find them on big studios, meter bridges, on big consoles, you find the micro monitors.
Actually, I have one of those.
So we don't target products for beginners or professionals.
I think that it is one of your strongest point, no? Because, for instance, if I think at ToneX,
yeah,
this is a perfect example, no? Because it is properly priced for even someone that wanted to step up with, but it is also fine for professionals to build an ample modeling pedalboard with other effects around it. And I think that with this philosophy in mind, you were able also to find a very specific market segment, where actually you were the first. If I think at ToneX, then others followed, like Nanocortex.
Yes, you are touching another point that is one of our foundations. We like to do popular products. We like to be, how can I say, we like to be helpful to spread technology and to spread tools that can help people. And so they must not be super high-priced products, because otherwise you are not reaching everybody. ToneX has a price point that is very accessible, especially for the amazing quality it provides. And yes, there were no other products in that segment, also because ToneX has a very particular feature. It does only amplifiers, where it was doing only amplifiers when we released it. There were no effects in it.
Yeah.
So we preferred bringing what was really needed, and I mean amazing quality modeling, amazing quality reproduction of the amplifier, without any frills. That's why we have been able to keep the cost down. If we had made something like with a 7-inch display, and then it would have costed much more. But we have found that providing just the amplifier at that quality level really was something that was a latent need in the market.
Yeah. Yes, in fact, I think that it is a quite successful product also.
Yeah.
You were talking about profiling. You have started with Amplitude, which is a modeling product. So,
right.
What do you think about the two technologies? Advantages, pros, cons of the two? Are they, how to say, living together also in the future, or some of those technologies will prevail? What do you think about those two technologies?
Yeah.
Because it is kind of, there are companies that are making only profiling, Kemper.
Right.
There are companies that are making only modeling.
Only modeling.
Few of them are making both of the two, Neural and actually you.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about your vision about these two.
Yes, I think it's very interesting. With Amplitude, before all the ToneX scenario, what we were doing was classic modeling. I mean, white box modeling. Meaning, white box means that you have to know what's going on inside the amplifier in order to create the model. So you have to look at the schematics. You need electronic engineers that understand the schematics, understand each stage. They understand how they stage interact together, which is
very important.
Very important. And then they transform this into a mathematical big chunk of expressions. With those expressions, that then you transfer this mathematical processing into DSP algorithms, and then you check the way it sounds. It never matches the original amplifier. Too bad. It never works first shot. So you start to do a sort of, back and forth with the product manager that has good ears, checking the amplifiers with the model measurements, instrumentation measurements, and listening tests, and you arrive to a model that sounds pretty close to the amplifier, but not identical, but pretty close. The advantage of this technology is that if your amplifier is something like that Marshall, that I don't know how many knobs it has, knobs and switches, but a lot. You can replicate each one.
Exactly each of them.
Exactly that layout, that working of all the contours, and even the way the contours interact with each other, because they do interaction.
Of course.
So that's the advantage of the modeling. The capturing, that we call it capturing, but it's profiling. You can treats the amplifier as a black box, meaning that you don't know what's going on inside. It can do any kind of crazy stuff, magic. You just capture what you are sending to the amplifier and what the amplifier gives back with all its, magic. And the algorithm is actually able to understand what's going on inside, not with the circuitry, but with the signal, and to apply the behavior back to another source. That's what machine learning is, basically, and what ToneX is. The advantage in this case is that the reproduction is spot on, perfect, absolutely perfect. If I have a, buzzing screw on an amplifier, then the model will also get the buzzing screw. So everything, there is no single detail that is left out. But you are taking a snapshot of the amplifier. Of course. So you cannot have
mimic every knob.
Yeah, unless you take, I don't know, many captures, but quite a lot.
This is quite interesting, and maybe in the future we're going to see how I see the merge of these two technologies. You take a set of profiles, a set of captures of an amp, and then with some mathematical formula, you interpolate
them.
So this is kind of possible merge of the two technology. Is this something that you think is possible, or?
It is definitely possible. The only, let's say, obstacle to this is the number of combinations.
Yeah.
So if you have a relatively simple amplifier, say like this, even the Dumble, it is a 2-channel amplifier, but the combinations are quite a lot. Maybe you can try to do something like that. If the combinations are really a lot, then you need to blend many different. And anyway, you don't have the interaction. We are studying these possibilities, but I also have to say that the guitar player loves the way the amplifier sounds with a certain setup. If the interaction of the knobs is not exactly the same of the real one.
Yeah. Well, okay, we are touching another interesting point here. The meaning of the word feel. Because every time I make a video,
it's everything with ToneX.
Every time I make a video, Leo, how do this amp feels under your finger?
Yeah.
And so I have so the answer could be, oh, it feels perfect, but it is not the answer I want to give. So and here I would like to have your opinion. My point of view is that the feel is kind of a set of these things. Latency, so how fast the gear responds to my touch, the dynamic range management, so how it clean ups and breaks up according to my touch. And the other thing is what I call note envelope. When you pick the note in a specific way, the way the note bloom and it's very to be like. So if you have a good tube amp, it really have this kind of magic when you pick the note, how you put the pick, how you force it. So it is what they call note envelope. So latency, dynamic range, and note envelope. This is what I try to give to my audience, I would say, trying to answer in a more technical way and not saying it feels good.
I agree. I think those 3 points are fundamental. Of course, latency, I mean, music is about timing and tempo. And if there is a delay between what the musician is playing and the sound that comes out, the musician is disoriented. Music is feeling. It has to be immediate, otherwise it's not going to work.
Yeah.
We love all those great musicians because they have such a great timing.
Yeah.
That's the most difficult thing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
To reach.
Jimi Hendrix for me is one of his timing is kind of unmatchable.
Or Stevie Ray Vaughan, for example.
Yes.
The timing there is totally amazing.
Yeah.
So if you introduce latency, you are basically giving a very bad news to that poor musicians trying to play. So we try to keep it as low as possible.
Yes.
Dynamics. That is where white box modeling and black box modeling makes a big difference, because an amplifier is made of tube, resistors, capacitors, transformers, wires. What's happening in there, it's a lot of stuff. It's really a lot of stuff. And all the gain staging, all the interaction between, even just the interaction between the power supply and the power amp, that's make the supply sinking and lose some of the voltage on the peaks. All these things together are making something that you can only capture as a wall, basically.
I totally agree. And the speaker is the other thing. The way the speaker reacts with the power amplifier,
That's very important.
In fact, I always try to create profiles of the whole rig.
That's the best.
That's where, in my opinion, profiling is really giving its best.
You know the impedance curve of a guitar speaker?
Curve, yeah.
You have that peak at 90 Hertz. It's not going to stay there.
Yeah.
It's going to move.
A greenback will never react as a vintage 30.
No.
Even with the same amp. And so when you create a profile, and for instance with an amp paired with a reactive load that has an impedance curve of a vintage 30, then if you apply this profile to a greenback, it's fine, but
it's not natural.
Yeah. That's why I think profiling has to be done with the whole rig.
Yes. Also because one of the reasons, because we all in the world prefer so much tube amplifiers, is that the tube amplifier, the impedance curve of the speaker determines how the power amplifier push current into the speaker. All guitar speakers, they have a rising impedance with frequency. That's why tube amplifiers are brighter, because going on the impedance, the amplifier becomes brighter, going on with frequency. But it's not an equalizer. It's something natural, inherent in the speaker. So that's why it feels so fast and natural. I mean, that's why. That's one of the 1,000 reasons.
1,000 parameters.
It feels that natural. But
nice.
Yeah, so, and also, what you mentioned as a third point, also that is absolutely important. The problem with white box modeling is that you are starting going into nuances, and when you do a modeling from the schematics, the nuances, you arrive up to a certain point, then you have to stop somehow, because otherwise you find yourself modeling even the age of the components.
I see.
Even everything, you have to stop somehow.
And
instead, with capturing, you capture everything, including the age of the components.
So another aspect that I didn't talk about it is that profiling is easier, even for you, I guess, to produce, because with modeling,
absolutely,
you have to go into detail, listen. It's a sort of iteration process, and so I imagine that it takes a lot of time. Where with profiling,
it takes months. Yeah. Profiling, you need a good room, a good setup, good preamplifiers, microphones, and converters, and you need to know the amplifier that you are profiling to set it the way it
properly.
Sounds the best, or the way you like it.
Yeah.
I mean, but then it's done.
Yeah.
That's why it's so popular, and that's why the Tone.net platform has become so widely appreciated, because my deluxe reverb amp is not like yours.
Of course.
And maybe it has played rock and roll for 20 years and the other one has played jazz for 20 years. They're going to be different.
You have touched a very important point, in my opinion. I mean, of course, every guitarist is searching for his tone.
Yes.
No? And so I have the feeling that when I profile my amp with my setup, with the valve that are in those status, with the knob, I'm creating something unique.
Yours.
Mine, totally mine. Where,
Yes.
with the modeling, everybody can, I have to say, sort of create the same tone. So I think this is another pro of the profiling process.
There is a big advantage also in the modeling, that is that you can experiment. You can
Of
create
course.
models that don't exist.
This is
So,
okay. No, you're right.
Yeah.
I have to say that one of the most pleasing experience I have had in my mind was actually with Amplitude, to be able to try many different amps. So
Right.
I didn't know how a Freyet sounded compared to a Plexi.
Yes.
And with Amplitude, you kind of can experiment with those different, and so you can say, okay, I like this Freyet, I want it. Okay, and now I want to kind of switch argument. I think that here in Italy, we have the possibility not only to build a great product, functional product, but also nice product, no? And something that growing, I appreciate more and more. So I like to be surrounded by nice looking things that
Sure.
merge with the art we want to do. So I want a nice guitar, I want a nice pedalboard. And so as Italians here, I think we have the opportunity to build not only something that is working great, but also that it is nice looking. So what's your opinion about
I
that?
completely agree. Also, musical instruments has always been piece of art. I mean, if you look at the Stratocaster,
It's
that
absolutely
design,
incredibly nice.
so yes, beauty is part of the musical instruments, but even a grand piano is something that. So we try to be minimal. We like to be minimal. If you check our mobile audio interfaces, they are very streamlined, very linear, no frills. And we do the same with the speakers. We don't put many ornamental elements. We like to be very, very streamlined and clean. For the guitar products, it's different because, a stone box is something that has to have a character, a personality.
Yeah.
If a stone box is, too shy,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work very well because
It doesn't inspire you to play.
yes,
How to say?
it has to have a personality. It has to say, well, I am a ToneX. I'm not something that sounds great. I am a
Only,
ToneX.
yeah.
Yes. So that on the guitar, it's on the stone boxes. If you check the ToneX cab, that's also very streamlined. We also like to do small things.
Yeah.
You have seen
ToneX One
the
is
ToneX One, the micro monitors, the iRig interfaces, but even that FR is really,
pretty
really small.
Yeah.
For
Smaller than I thought, actually, seeing it
Yeah.
in person.
small and lightweight. For the SPL it can put out, it's really small. So I would say our design guidelines are those ones.
Where is IK located? You are, of course, here in Modena.
We are in the headquarters now.
Okay.
Here in Modena we have the main facilities. Here we do product engineering,
Yeah.
product development,
Yeah.
and manufacturing.
Also manufacturing
yes.
here in Modena.
Yes.
This is very interesting. I think you are one of a kind, no? Pretty unique.
I think in consumer electronics and audio we are one of the few producing in Europe.
Can you tell us why you decided not to outsource the production, but because this is very, very interesting and, of course, a nice thing for the
We have consider
for the community, I would
Yes.
say, in general.
which is something that we care a lot about. Consider that we have more or less 70% of our catalog produced in the facility here in Modena.
We will see the facility later on, so stay tuned.
Yeah. And 30% is coming from external manufacturers, like for example the plastic studio monitor series like the Loud Micro Monitor MTM are not made here in Modena. Otherwise, 70% of what we do is made here. So guitar stone boxes, audio interfaces, iRig, the precision speakers. We do a lot of parts here in Modena. Consider that our facility here is putting out more or less 300,000 units per year.
A lot. But
all included.
What is the main advantage of having production here?
First of all, I have to tell you why we decided to do this. Enrico's family comes from an electronics manufacturing business. And IK was making only software up to 2010, more or less, because we had a few experiments earlier, but then with the iRig we went really to the hardware manufacturing scenario. The first, very, very, very first iRig was made in China initially. But at a certain point we said, look, we have experience in electronic manufacturing. We should bring the iRig in Modena, to be made in Modena. And we started with a very small facility making only iRigs.
I see.
Because we liked the idea of making them in Modena. There were no other reasons. There were no economical reasons, or we just wanted to do it because we preferred to do it in Modena.
Yes, makes sense.
And then we saw that starting with the right step by step, not making huge investments, but what we actually needed, it was really possible. So then we made the iRig HD, and then the iRig Pro, and then the HD2, and then all the stuff that we have made in these years made quite a big facility. That is the one that you are going to visit afterwards, with 3 SMT double machine assembling lines, and a quite automated facility. So the advantages are also very practical. For example, owning the production, we can decide what we have to do.
Of course.
So, for example, if an order comes in, very important, from a big dealer, then we can steer what the production was going on, and we can tailor and steer the production to that very important order that comes in like the day before.
Yeah.
If you are working with an external manufacturer, you cannot do like that, because
you're not in control of the chain.
Yes, you have to stay within your calendar and stick with what's planned.
I see.
But having the production inside, we can handle the components the way we want, quality check the way we want. Consider that you will see in the facility, each individual product, that individual unit that goes out from that production is checked completely. So no units are going out without checking, without quality check. These are all advantages that we have experienced that are very, very important.
Okay, very, very interesting. So thank you so much. And now
you're welcome.
I can't wait to check out the other parts of these fantastic locations here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, really.
It's been a pleasure.
It was a pleasure also for me.
Thank you.
And we are here with Marco. Can you introduce yourself, Marco?
Yes, Leo. I'm Marco. I work as a product manager for ToneX Amplitube guitar products here at IK. And thanks for having me.
You're welcome, and thank you for your time. And we have also some very cool amps behind us, especially those two nice Dumble, which, by the way, cost a fortune, but we will also hear them later on. So the first question I would do is, you are among the pioneer of amp modeling technology, which has been an incredible evolution in the last 20 years. What do you think about this evolution, and which is the role of IK Multimedia?
Yes, IK comes from a long journey with the Amplitube brand. It's a long-lasting brand. IK has a lot of experience on modeling amps and on the inner workings of the amplifiers. So after all this evolution, I think the times were mature for switching to the modern technologies, to the use of AI and neural networks, and that's when ToneX steps in. So it's kind of a natural evolution to arrive to artificial intelligence.
Okay. So it's kind of a marriage between the possibility that the hardware gives you and what you actually create as a product, I imagine.
All right, all
Okay.
for the benefits of guitar players and enthusiasts.
Okay, thank you, Marco. What do you think about modeling and profiling? You are among the few to have both, no? You have Amplitube, which is a modeling solution. You have ToneX, which is a profiling solution. So what do you think is the main differences between the two, and which one is going to win, if we are going to have a winner?
Yes, at IK, first of all, we are musicians, right? So we care about the feel that you have when using our products. And since we have this technology nowadays that can provide the best feel possible when playing a product like ToneX, and that's kind of the natural choice, right? While analog modeling is fine in itself, and it's come a long way since many years ago, I think the natural evolution, like we said before, is just switching to new technologies like ToneX.
Okay, you talk about the feel. So, in your opinion, what means feel?
My definition of feel would be how fast you forget you're playing through a digital thing, and you just forget it's a sequence of ones and zeros. And you forget it, and you imagine you're playing a real guitar amp. And when that happens, you know you've captured the feel of the thing.
Okay. What have been your most popular products, and what are currently the most popular ones generally, and then the Guitar One oriented?
As you may know, I'm sure you know, ToneX is a very successful product at the moment. So we have a whole ecosystem. A whole range of products. We have the software, we have the hardware, different tiers, and we just introduced an FR cabinet to kind of go and complete our line of products. And we're also working and researching many other stuff, many gear that will come that we cannot disclose at this moment, but maybe you saw something around here at IK. That's for the guitar products. We also sell very successful studio monitors and recording gear, like Arc Studio, which is a nice little box that you place between your interface and your studio monitors, and you're able to correct your studio monitors and to have the perfect frequency response that you want, and so you forget the defects of your studio. All right.
Yeah.
Then we make great studio monitors, like the latest Precision line of monitors with different size, and they're also very popular. And we come also in the recording field from successful micro monitor and MTM monitors, which can be seen around on many desks around the world.
You mentioned that ToneX is one of the most successful products you have currently in your product line. We have now many companies, I would say, that are adopting profiling. No, we have kind of Neural DSP, we have NAM. Are you adopting kind of a standard neural network, or you are developing your own neural network?
We started from kind of ideas, papers that are publicly available, and on that we built our own neural network. So it's our very own implementation of that.
Okay. So I think that maybe the most difficult thing to do is to produce a very high quality neural network, but that is not too much expensive in terms of DSP. I imagine that when you have developed your own neural network, you were also trying to find a solution which was, of course, of an high fidelity, but that was also able to fit in a device that should be available for many guitarists, and so that should be affordable. Is it a problem you have faced while thinking at your own neural network, or it was just a consequence?
Yes, obviously we wanted great tone, great fidelity, accuracy, and but also light models, so we could build something useful on them. So as you know, ToneX can run as a software on any computer, basically. It's got dedicated hardware at the right price point. So yes, that's what those were our constraints, and that's the magic of our engineers.
I see.
To make it happen.
Why you build an hardware solution for profiling and not an hardware solution for modeling? I have kind of the perception that you think that for profiling it is better to have hardware units, where for modeling you prefer to have software solutions.
Well, I think we could talk about the present of our products, which is ToneX, at least for guitar products. And as you know, we have both software and hardware solution for ToneX, and that's where we're pushing at the moment, where we're spending our energy, our research, our development.
Okay, let's talk about the partnership with Joe. How you started working with him. If you can tell a bit about the story.
Yes, Joe Satriani is a longtime friend. He also collaborated on Amplitude in the past years. And once he tested this technology, like ToneX, he was impressed and he wanted to do a collection with us. And so we're happy to collaborate. And by the way, we brought this ToneX One in sexy chrome finish, which is Joe Satriani's signature, and but also has got your name on it.
It is very nice.
This is for you.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you can see. How cool is that? Thank you very much, Marco. I'm very pleased and honored to have such a nice toy here. Let's put it here. Do you have all the amps you model here in Modena, in this location?
Yes, the best part of the amps you can see in ToneX and in our products. Also, those that were modeled in Amplitude before are here in Modena, and I can show you them later.
Can't wait to see them. Okay, are there any plans for integrating AI into future products, for instance, in your mixing and mastering tools? So, you know, there are some products currently that helps to EQ, to match EQ based on AI algorithms. So I'm wondering if, as you have a lot of products, studio-oriented products, I'm wondering if you are thinking about something helping, for instance, as guitarists, that not everybody is very good at mixing, no? So product like that could be useful for us guitarists.
Well, obviously, AI is one of the topic of the moment. So yes, we're making research on a lot of things. And we're developing a lot of new products that you will see in the next months, in the next years. So without disclosing anything, yes, we're working on AI every day and always being at the top edge of innovation.
Okay, you talk about the future, so I have to do this question. Can you share any upcoming projects or innovations you are working on?
Well, we have many innovations we are working on, like I said. Many different products, many different research. As you walked around the company, you may have seen how much work we put into this development. So you will see very good products in the future.
Okay. So consider our community in order to test them. So Marco, thank you very much for your time.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We start from a laser for traceability. Then the board are inside this rack. You can see this is the serial number of every board. Then this cassette is placed on the loader. Yeah. This is the loader. The loader, when this machine that is a printed machine, put the solder alloy to the board. As you can see, this is a plate go on the PCB. After this, the board pass on this conveyor. The machine, when finished, pull the board from conveyor inside. Okay. The machine. This is the first machine of the line that mount the little component. Then inside the oven. This is a SMT oven. This machine creates the metallic alloy to connect the component to the board. Okay. When the board has been cured inside the oven, okay, the components are firmly attached to the board. As you can see, is mechanically attached and electrically connected. So the circuit is working.
The circuit is working here. I see.
And then here we make the first quality check. This is the AOI machine, automatic optic inspection. Is the machine able to see every component, to build in 3D the dimension of the component, to check if the position, the quality of the solder. This is ToneX, the upper board. The operator put the board inside, and the machine, you can see, starts.
Yes.
Every component is analyzed. For example, you see this solder, it seems not so good, but it's enough quality to make
It's a range
yes,
of tolerance, I would say.
yes, the operator
Decide. Okay.
decide which range use for every component. Every component, one by one, are controlled in how many seconds?
25 seconds.
25 seconds. So inside we have how many components? For example, 1,148 components on the board. In 25 seconds, the machine check all these components
Okay.
one by one. Then this is the first check of quality. We have some electrical control after. Then here we have one X-ray machine. X-ray machine this, to check the connection. Like this component is a BGA, ball grid array. The connection are under the component, so it's impossible to check if the quality of the solder joint is good. So, for example, we put inside the board.
Okay.
Then the operator start X-ray tube, and you can see this is all this little ball is the connection, electrical connection from the board to the component. If we have some problem, we are able to solve the problem before the finish of the production.
I see.
Okay?
Okay. So these are all the boards that are fine.
Yes.
I imagine.
Here we have other ToneX One
Okay.
PCB ready to be finished on the other place. We have a lot of product. We normally manage 3, 4, 5 different products every day.
You say today we focus our production on ToneX, tomorrow on.
Yes, we have a planification.
Okay. So every day or
Every day, yes. Normally, depend by the production. For example, in this case, we have an order of, you can see there, the order of 2,280.
Okay.
Okay, this is
So
the plan of the job.
You have the
Okay.
plan, and according to the plan, you organize the production.
Yes, perfect.
Deciding every
Yes.
day or every.
Other person not here decided the how to put in programmation our production, and we start about the order.
Okay, and the machine adapted to the projects
Yes,
of
yes.
the particular
Yes.
unit you want to produce. From start to the end, how long does it take?
We complete one board in this time, second, just 233 seconds. And in 1 hour, the board are fitting. Now,
Just to see the final product.
yes, we are near.
Almost,
Okay, here is this part of the production. We mount the component in CHT through-hole technology. In this case, the component pass through some hole, and you can see here in the back, the pin of the component goes through the board,
Okay.
ready to be soldered by this machine. This is a wave machine solder, 260 degree, with create a little wave. The wave touch the bottom side of the board and simultaneously solder every joint of every pass-through component. After this, we check every solder joint manually with some camera. For example, this one. Under the camera, we control all the solder point, and if the solder is not good, it's retouched and the
Manually.
board
It's
manually.
retouched manually.
Yes. Tac tac, is ready.
Okay.
When the board are ready, comes through the enclosure department in the other. Come with me, please.
Yes.
Okay. Now we electrically check every board. For example, here.
Wow, it's a
Yeah,
prodotto.
eccolo è lui.
Final product.
The final product. Now we are closing and checking the electrically function.
Okay.
So you can see the evolution of the test. Okay.
Okay.
After
So at the same time, he's finishing the product and testing the another
testing the final
Finishing,
test.
testing, finishing.
Okay. Then you see here the bottom is to be placed. The last operation. So
Pedal.
this is the ToneX pedal. Or for example, this is Arc Studio. We check electrically and test the product until the end. So when the product is past the test, are placed on this box and ready to be closed and bring on the warehouse where we close stock. Yes,
Finished product.
Yes,
To be
perfect,
sent, where
perfect.
to be sent.
Perfect.
I'm impressed about the numbers of quality checks you perform
Yes, true.
within the production of each product.
Yes.
So the question is, do you have an high level of failures? The level of failures are low?
No, because every passage, every part of our production is strictly controlled by quality check. How you can see before with camera, with some different tests.
And this is important for you and for them, because for
Yes.
you have a product that is,
Fortunately,
I would say,
Yes.
that it is going to work.
yes,
And
yes.
For AK, because of course, the lower is the level of failure, the less problem you have, and therefore the
This is
margins
true.
are
This
higher.
is true. From the customer, we have a lower rate of return, so we are happy for this.
Okay, thank you so much
My
for the tour.
My pleasure.
For the tour, my pleasure. It was very, very interesting. And see you later.
Okay.
This is the vertical amp and cabinet warehouse where we have many amps inside here. What would you like to see? Let's say
È mesa qui, ok.
Oh, finalmente, adesso prendiamo quello che abbiamo chiesto. You can get in there.
And here we have a Mark V.
Yes. Mark V head. This is a triple crown. Here's there's a Fender Deluxe.
This is a
Custom
caliber.
57.
A caliber something. I have one of. Oh no, Mark III.
This is a Mark III, alright. This is the diesel. A Randall cabinet, Fender MH cabinet, metal cabinet. Just a drawer.
Okay.
Some of our amps. Well, say bye bye to the Mesa Boogies.
See you. Have a nice night.
Okay guys, this
has been a very unique and super interesting journey. Getting to talk about gear, amp modeling and profiling with Davide and Marco was truly a pleasure and very educative. The factory tour with the other Marco revealed just how much innovation and craftsmanship goes into the tools we use every day. I was blown away seeing the technology behind our beloved musical instruments. It gives me a whole new appreciation for what goes into creating great tone. So did you enjoy this peek behind the curtain? Let me know in the comments. I really want to thank here all the nice folks at IK. Thank you so much for your time and for giving our community this incredible opportunity to see behind the scenes. It means a lot to me. I really hope to be able to bring you more of these exclusive manufacturer interviews in the future. After all, understanding what happens behind the scenes helps all of us to grow as musicians and tone enthusiasts. See you soon. Bye bye. I've never tried once before. This is a dumbbell and the price is 150,000 euros. Right?
Right.